You know, that takes us right into our next one. It's the first ladies fight on the card. You know, excited about this one. On one end, we got Shana Dobson. On the other end, we got Casey O'Neill. Got a little trivia for you here. Let's see how well you know your boy here. So when you think of a woman and you hear the last name O'Neill, who do you think of?
Hear the last name O'Neill. Who do I think of? I think of two people, which is kind of funny that they're in the same spot. I think of Shaq and Jeff O'Neill.
Something else.
It's Shaq and Jeff O'Neill.
No, lady.
Oh, I'm so sorry. O'Neill, lady O'Neill.
It's a tough one. And I got to make sure I got her name right. Imagine this isn't her name.
Oh, that was
that's her name.
Okay. And sorry, she's an athlete?
No, she's a fictional character.
Oh, she's a fictional character. Is she from Peaky Blinders?
No, man. She's from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. April O'Neil.
Oh, April O'Neil. Okay. It's so funny. You have me on this like European trend, and I'm like, I'm just gonna throw a guess up because I know this man's been watching a lot of Peaky, so I'm gonna just go with that.
But I will say I gotta commend the Shaq guess because that's my boy.
This man said woman though, so I was really way off. This man just wanted to hear Shaq.
Oh man! But anytime I hear O'Neill as a lady, I think of April O'Neil. So that was my
that's so
Ninja
good.
Turtles rant.
I love that. She was fine, both cartoon and not.
100%. Right? That long curly hair, I'll deal with that shit for sure.
Yeah. Yellow jacket. Whew.
Yes, it's exactly what I'm picturing. Return of the Ooze, man.
Right? That's my favorite. Oh, that was my favorite. But it's funny. Watch that when you're older. You're like, man, this is juvenile.
Terrible.
You go to the first one. The first one is mind blowing.
Oh man, I felt the same way when they got added on Netflix. So let's dive into this fight now. We got Shana Dobson on one end, 31 years old, and she sports a 4-4 record. She did beat Ariel Beck in Tough 26 finale, but she has gone 1-3 in the UFC since. She lost actually her first 3 bouts to Lauren Mueller, Sabina Mazo, and Prisilla Cachora. And
Cachora's a good fighter too. So like that's kind of like with her, you see this weird shift between like women fights like the old days, right? Like you just it's such an MMA.
Anybody can beat anybody, yeah. Truly. And so, she did bounce back in August. She got a win against Maria Agapova. And, another thing that was crazy to me to see is that a lot of her fights don't make it to decision. And someone is finishing these fights.
Well, like if you look at the way she even lost those decisions, I mean, the way you screwed me up with the way you said it's Agapova. Maria Agapova.
When I say Agapova?
Yeah. It's like, because it is Kornikova and all that. So it's like,
I know, the tennis names mess me up.
Yeah. And there's going to be more and more of the, Eastern European and Russian names. So we best get used to it. So the thing about that fight, if you remember, man, could we talk about a fighter who went from looking really good in one fight to just absolutely weird in the next fight? Like she approached it very weird. I felt like you had a true veteran kind of expose how easily it was to defend what you're bringing to the table, right? Constant volume striking with no real, accuracy, if you will. It was very much a whirlwind of strikes, and Dobson kind of just, she was that damage and just kind of did her own thing after that, right? Agapova was exhausted. She was absolutely exhausted, and you can tell.
Now I see why you enjoy it from the other end so much,
right? 100%. Now you're just gonna say all these names fun just to throw me off, right? Oh, it's gonna be fun. It's like, now you got a way to get me back for the bells too. So I mean. I really thought that if you have to be smart about it, right? I don't think Maria's going to look the same in her next fight. So when you look at Casey O'Neill, hasn't fought in the UFC yet. You look at her highlight reel. She's a Tiger MMA fighter. Her striking is going to be there. What I kind of saw with her fights, I'm not lying to you. It was the same thing as Agapova. I thought that she was just constantly bum rushing. I thought that she was trying to take the person down. I thought that she was trying to force it. With Dobson, you saw the exact same thing with Maria, who was coming in at almost a minus 1,000 or a minus 800 favorite there. I mean, it was kind of, it was just like, it was it was a tough pill to swallow for anyone watching, because it was also a tough fight to watch, right? Like the irresponsibility, the lack of just ring IQ or octagon IQ. Hey, you got me there too, bro. I said ring instead of octagon.
Messing this man up.
It's interesting, right? I really believe that Dobson's proving that her experience is going to come in handy with some of these newer fighters, and whether she's getting lucky or not with another one, like we're talking about a girl who has really good training camps. And, you know, I think if this is a striking battle, it could be a little tough. But as an MMA fighter, I just think she's going to really be able to put it on Casey O'Neill, because she has to make sure that it stays on the feet, because I think Casey's going to try to mix it up. But the wrestling, you got to give Dobson, right?
Yeah, and honestly, this looks like one that's going to be one of the tougher ones to call, man. You know, got a nice prospect here with 5-0 record. You know, not a lot of history on her. We got one vet on the other end, very scrappy. You know, has the ability to win any fight she's in, it seems, right? So, yeah, it's going to be a close one. Let's dive right into the odds there. Who do you see being the favorite here?
Well, I think Dobson just proved to be a really smart fighter in her last fight, right? Even if she's not a wrestling type fighter, if she wants to keep the fight standing the whole time and just keep throwing, she looks like a good striker, a smart one, which I don't mind. But I still think she takes a lot of shots. She just got, you know, a fighter that was just very responsible the last one. So this is one of my hardest fights to pick, because
it's a tough one to call, man. It's a tough one.
Yeah, like I want to give Dobson an edge, but it's just like Casey O'Neill looks the part against maybe, you know, even a bad day Dobson, right? Like that was a great day for Dobson in the octagon, but look at the person across from her. Like, could you be more irresponsible, right? Like, I think Maria's actually a really good fighter. She has a lot of potential, but the length and everything looked great, but I don't know. That was tough. So when you have to level that all up, it's just really hard. But recency bias, UFC newcomer, let's give Dobson a line. I'll give you a bone too, and probably not get a bell on this, but I think that Vegas will show her a -200 line.
Wow. All right. So, let's put that bell away. We don't have to deal with that one today.
Dog. She's the dog again. I knew she's a dog.
She is the dog. She's a +150 dog, man. Casey O'Neill actually comes in at a -175. And, based on what, I've researched here, what you've kind of reaffirmed for us here, this is anybody's fight, man. It's not to say that, somebody is deserving of a -200 based on what we've seen on paper here. So might be a little bit of value on Dobson, but this going either way would not surprise me.
Well, that's the thing, right? So the way the Vegas lines technically work is usually recency bias and that kind of thing. But again, Dobson just doesn't look like she's, she doesn't bring that much to the table, I guess, when you think about it, to merit that kind of a line. Like, I guess when you're starting to see those lines, everyone has a really strong suit. She just looked like the better wrestler, the better cardio in that last fight. And so the bump I thought would be there. But you know what, man? I guess Vegas fooled me a little bit there too, right? So I like the line personally. If I'm looking at this, I also think an over doesn't look so bad, because I think that these guys might try to go a little bit deep, I think they have the ability if they can't land a lot of power shots. But again, this girl's also lost in less than a minute via uppercuts. So it might be a, ooh, nice.
Yeah,
next.
Exactly. No outcome here would surprise me. So stay tuned for that one. As the prop bets and stuff do get released, we'll see if there's any value on the overs and let you guys know.
And keep an eye on Casey O'Neill, right? Tiger Muay Thai type fighter coming in. Like, if she puts on a show, man, like, keep an eye out for what we could consider another UFC prospect who might hit our prospect watch in the coming months.
Yeah, absolutely. Safe to say we are pumped for this one. UFC Vegas 19 takes place next Saturday, headlined by our boy, the Black Beast, taking on Curtis Blades. We got a bunch of beauty heavyweight fights on that card, so I'm super pumped for it. That wraps it up today. If you haven't already done so, smash that like button, hit that bell button, give us that subscribe, the follow. All our Instagram, Twitter is all there. Any questions, comments you guys have, just send them our way. Anything else, Siraj?
Just be ready. Like, we keep pumping this fight up, but be ready for a 5-round wrestling match where Curtis Blades isn't able to finish this man, and Derek Lewis isn't able to get off his back after 3 rounds, and you're just watching a guy get taken down for 5 rounds. So just be ready for that as well.
Yeah. Nice little disclaimer there, my man. Yeah. Always a pleasure, dude. Take care.
You too, my guy. Take care.